Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic / Non-Classic. This is episode number 378 and Doubleshot number 302. Okay? Two more Reaper trades. Last ones I've got. First up, it's Wonder Woman, Volume 1, The Lies. Written by Greg Rucka and the artwork by Liam Sharp. Now, this one contains the Wonder Woman Rebirth one-shot, along with issues 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Now, why the odd number issues? There's a very good reason for that. Because DC thought it would be a good idea to have two story arcs go on the same exact time. And I've spoken to Liam Sharp about this. Apparently this is what Greg Rucka wants to do with Wonder Woman. Okay, fine. So basically, most of the story is just Wonder Woman trying to figure out who she is and if she's really the god of war. Basically, kind of in some way, if you're not a fan of the Brian Azzarello stuff, yeah, Rucka kind of gets rid of a lot of the stuff basically people didn't like about the previous one. Now, I have nothing against the Mayor of the French Front, basically, which I actually thought was really good. For a lot of people, they just didn't really care with the Brian Azzarello stuff at all. So Rucka comes in, basically fixes everything. I should point out that this is actually Greg Rucka's first DC book. When he was brought in, this first time in a decade, he actually has written for DC. Apparently, he had left DC due to very somewhat controversial. This is actually well before New 52 even started, so it was New 52 that drove him away. It was something else. And this is before New 52 started. So, and apparently, when I heard that Rucka was basically announced as the writer of Wonder Woman, I was so happy because Rucka's one of my favorite writers. I mean, I have never met him before, and I'm hopefully going to be later this month in Macon, Orlando. And I just really enjoy his work. I even read prior to this run even starting. I actually read his entire run for Wonder Woman. Actually, I think I started reading late last year, but I've read pretty much his original run, which isn't very long. I mean, his run itself started with issue 196 of Wonder Woman Volume 2. It wrapped up with issue 226. Basically, his run was like 41 issues. Yeah, a 4-year run. Yep, and basically led to the very controversial relaunch when the book was basically not coming out in time. But anyways, moving beyond that, she does basically. Oh, and I should point out though, for the first time in a long time, Steve Trevor is in the Wonder Woman title. I mean, when was the last time we saw him in this book? I would say before JMS took over the book. Yeah, that was the last time he officially was in the book. Actually, when Gail Simone was writing the book, and that was like, wow. I think it was like 8 years. Well, by the time this volume started, it had been 7 years since Steve Trevor had appeared in Wonder Woman, because apparently Brian Azzarello had nothing to do with him at all. And probably also because they had Wonder Woman hooked up with Superman, which that's not even referenced in here at all. I think there's a glimpse of it, but yeah. So she goes out trying to find Themyscira because apparently she can't find her for some reason. So she seeks the help of Cheetah, and she makes a deal with her. Help me find Themyscira, and I'll cure you, and I'll free you from your curse. She's like, okay, cool. That she does do. 4 issues in. Yep, by the 4th part, she actually does cure Cheetah of her. Basically, she's right back to Barbara Minerva. And they find Themyscira, except it's not Themyscira. It's actually not really that one at all. It's actually a fake. It's all an illusion. Yep. But going at the same time basically was the year 1 stuff, which hopefully when I get hands on Volume 2, I might be able to review it. But this is still good. I highly recommend basically people want Wonder Woman to fan of her hooking up with Steve Trevor over hooking up with Superman. Yeah. And also fans of Greg Rucka. Show her some artwork. Yeah. And there's her in a brand spanking new costume. Heavily inspired by the DCEU, which I actually like this costume in here. It's actually much more brighter than it is in the movies. Alright. Next, I get that one a 9 out of 10. Next up is Justice League Volume 1, Extremists, The Extinction Machine, written by Brian Hitch. Yes, Brian Hitch. This is something I referenced in the last episode. Who basically, this book contains the first 6 issues, first 5 issues, and the Rebirth one-shot. Now, it was announced for the Rebirth one-shot that Brian Hitch was doing the writing and Tony S. Daniel would do the artwork. Now, people think, oh, maybe that includes the interiors. Nope. For some unknown reason, Tony S. Daniel just does the cover of the Rebirth issue. And the interior is all done by Brian Hitch. So, yeah, DC lied about that Rebirth one-shot. And then when we get to the actual series, Tony S. Daniel, who was announced as the artist, abruptly leaves halfway through the storyline. I never knew why until I found out a few months ago on Facebook the reason why. The reason why he left was because of scheduling issues. That's the reason why he stopped drawing the book, because of scheduling issues. Okay, I can accept that. Fine, he probably has a busy schedule in his hand, so he had to give up the book. And the book was given off to, I mean, the artist who replaced him, Jesus Mariano, is not a bad artist. This artist, maybe not Tony S. Daniel, but at least the quality of artwork is actually really good. Yeah, here's some sample artwork by the guy. Now, as for Tony S. Daniel himself, he would do of the 2 remaining issues of the storyline. He would do the last issue. He skipped issue 4. He would not do issue 4, but he does the cover for issue 5. Currently, he's the artist for Suicide Squad right now. He recently did before that. He did Justice League versus Suicide Squad. Now, the thing with this is that, okay, there's a good character stuff with the main characters, fine. But as for the story itself, there is not much of a story here. It's just like fighting some random monsters. I'm like, really? This is the best you can do, Brian Hitch. Okay. Especially after we got the awesomeness that was Jeff Johns' run. And this is what we get to replace Jeff Johns. Brian Hitch, a guy who couldn't keep a book that he was writing and drawing on time. Yeah. Yeah, that was something really bizarre, though. When I heard that he was announced as the writer for Justice League, I'm like, really? The guy who couldn't even finish up his own run for his other Justice League book he was doing, and you have him writing the book. Okay. Yeah. And there's nothing much to Kindred. It's just a bunch of random monsters. No, seriously, it's a group of random monsters. There's nothing really much these creatures at all. And I'm thinking, no, this is how you open up your this is how you do your first arc. And by the way, next arc is a little bit better than this, but my god, this was basically a bit of a disappointment when it comes to story. Character, it actually excels at. Yeah, that's one thing I can praise Hitch for. He actually does very good character development. But as for trying to develop a good story, like of what the Justice League was fighting, it's just nothing. I feel nothing for these villains. I don't feel exciting for these villains. And it just kind of felt as though that the villains were just extremely boring. So it's like, unlike with Jeff Johns' run, which had a very good start, very disappointing second arc, and then get a little bit better 2 arcs later, this starts up very... So I could definitely say that the arc itself, story-wise, is a disappointment. Character is actually pretty good. Artwork is fantastic. But, yeah. So, I'm going to give this a 7.75 out of 10. The only reason why that is that particular score is because the story was disappointment. The artwork I give a 9 out of 10. It's great. Just the story is just sucks. It's not a terrible story. It's just boring. That's just the problem with it. It's just boring. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 379 and Doubleshot number 303. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.